Imagine this. You're driving home from work. The light turns red. You stop. A police officer pulls in behind you. Nothing unusual, right? But then the officer asks for your license, runs your name, and suddenly the situation changes. You're told to step out of the car. You're handcuffed. Not because you robbed someone, not because you were caught at the border, but because of something you didn't even realize could spiral. An expired license, an unpaid ticket you forgot about, a suspended registration, a missed court date, or a mistake with insurance paperwork. And if you're an immigrant, on a visa, on a green card, or waiting for a green card, that one traffic stop can turn into delays, denials, or even immigration custody in the worst cases. My name is Asad, and this is Immigration Newsroom. Today, I'm going to explain why traffic stops have become one of the most common, unexpected triggers that bring immigrants to the attention of immigration enforcement, what the real risks are without fear-mongering, what social media gets wrong, and what you can do starting today to protect your status and your family. First, let's clear up the biggest misunderstanding. People online say, immigrants are getting arrested just for driving. That's not usually the full truth. What's actually happening in many cases is this. A traffic stop becomes the moment when an existing issue is discovered, like a suspended license, an outstanding warrant because you missed a court date, a failure to appear, an unpaid ticket that turned into a hold, or a prior immigration issue that comes up when your identity is run through databases. The traffic stop is the trigger. It's the spotlight. It's the moment everything becomes visible. And once you're in a system, local jail booking, fingerprints, database checks, your name can end up being reviewed by agencies that you didn't expect to be involved. Now, why does this matter more in 2026 than it used to? Because enforcement technology and data sharing are stronger than ever. Many jurisdictions share booking information and fingerprints with federal databases. Some counties participate in formal cooperation programs with federal immigration authorities. And in certain places, immigration enforcement may be more active depending on local leadership and federal priorities at the time. That doesn't mean every traffic stop becomes an ICE case. Most do not. But it does mean a small driving issue can become a big legal problem faster than people realize, especially if you already have a fragile situation, a pending green card, a visa renewal, an overstay issue, a prior denial, or a past criminal charge. Now let's talk about what kinds of driving issues most commonly create immigration problems. I'm going to keep this practical, because you don't need panic, you need prevention. One common trap is driving without a valid license or driving on a suspended license. Some people don't know their license is suspended. It can happen from unpaid tickets, missed court dates, or insurance lapses. Then one traffic stop turns into an arrest, not because of the stop itself, but because driving on a suspended license is treated seriously in many states. Another major trap is expired registration or missing plates. A lot of people assume this is just a fine, but in some situations, it leads to a tow, an impound, and then a court process. If you miss court, or if you can't pay and it escalates, then you risk warrants and additional charges. Another big trap is uninsured driving. Many states treat driving without insurance as a major offense. It can lead to license suspension, impound, and heavy penalties. And when immigration officers review someone's history, especially in discretionary processes like adjustment of status or naturalization, they look at whether the person seems responsible and compliant with the law. A pattern of small violations can create the impression that you don't take legal obligations seriously, even if you never intended harm. Another overlooked trap is unpaid tickets, especially camera tickets. In some states and cities, automated enforcement, speed cameras, red light cameras, school zone cameras, can create tickets you don't even realize you have, especially if you moved and your address wasn't updated. If you ignore them long enough, some jurisdictions escalate them into collections, license holds, or court issues. And once there's a court problem, it can snowball. Another trap is distracted driving. Even if you think I only checked my phone at the red light, some states treat handheld phone use very strictly. Again, one ticket isn't usually an immigration disaster, but tickets can pile up, and unpaid tickets can become bigger problems. Now let's talk about the one driving issue that can truly destroy immigration cases: DUI. Here's where I need to correct something that many viral videos get wrong. A DUI is extremely serious for immigrants, but DUI is not automatically classified as a crime involving moral turpitude in every case. Immigration consequences depend on the facts: injury, drugs versus alcohol, prior offenses, sentence, and state law details. But the bottom line remains: a DUI can trigger immigration detention, can create inadmissibility issues, can hurt naturalization, and can lead to removal proceedings depending on the case. So the safest rule is the simplest rule. If you drink at all, do not drive. Not just one drink. Not, I feel fine. Use a rideshare, call a friend, or stay where you are. Nothing is worth putting your status at risk. Another trap that seems small but can become huge is leaving the scene of an accident. A parking lot bump that you walk away from can become a hit-and-run allegation in some states. And once something is charged as a misdemeanor or worse, you're in a completely different world. If there is any accident, no matter how minor, do not leave the scene. Follow the law, exchange info, and document it. Another trap is reckless driving and street racing. Some states treat reckless driving very harshly. If you're an immigrant, anything that can be viewed as endangering others can create major immigration consequences, especially if there's a conviction and a serious sentence. Now let's talk about something that scares people: police checking immigration status. In most routine traffic stops, officers are not supposed to be doing a full immigration investigation. But here's the reality: if you're arrested, booked, fingerprinted, or held, your information can be run through systems that connect to federal databases. And in some jurisdictions, local cooperation policies can increase the chance that immigration authorities get notified. So the real safety strategy is: avoid getting to the arrest stage in the first place. That means staying fully legal on the driving side, because driving compliance is one of the easiest ways to prevent unnecessary contact with law enforcement. Now let me talk about what immigrants often misunderstand about how this affects green cards and citizenship. USCIS doesn't only look at serious crimes. They also evaluate good moral character in certain processes, especially naturalization. A single ticket usually won't destroy a case, but multiple violations, unpaid court issues, or driving-related arrests can raise questions. And if you lie about it on a USCIS form or in an interview, if you say no when the real answer is yes, that can become a much bigger problem than the violation itself. So the rule is: don't hide, don't guess, get records, be truthful. Now here is your action plan. These steps are simple, but they prevent most of the disasters I see people walk into. First, check your license status today, not tomorrow. Make sure it's valid and not suspended. Many state DMV websites allow you to verify status online. Second, check your registration and expiration dates. If you recently moved, update your address everywhere: DMV, insurance, and any court or ticket system that uses your mailing address. Third, get insurance and keep proof in the car. If you're insured, make sure your policy is active and the ID card is current. Fourth, handle tickets immediately. Don't ignore them. Don't assume it's not a big deal. Pay it or fight it, but don't let it turn into a warrant or a license suspension. Fifth, don't touch your phone while driving, not at a light, not just for a second. Use hands-free legally if your state allows it, and keep your focus on driving. Sixth, if you drink, don't drive. This is the single most important rule for immigrants. Seventh, if you have children, follow child safety seat laws exactly. This varies by state, so check your state's official guidance. Eighth, if you move to a new state, learn the licensing deadline. Some states require you to obtain a local license within a specific period after establishing residence. Ninth, if you're pulled over, stay calm. Be polite. Don't argue. Don't run. Provide your required documents. And here's a powerful 10th step. If you have any previous arrest, pending case, or complicated immigration history, keep a lawyer's number saved before you need it, not after. Now let's talk briefly about your rights during a traffic stop. because knowing what to say can prevent you from making it worse. You can ask, "Am I free to go?" You generally do not have to consent to a search of your car. You should not lie. You can remain silent about questions that go beyond basic identification, but understand that refusing to answer can sometimes escalate delays. So, use judgment and stay calm. If you are not sure what to do in a high-risk situation, the safest approach is stay calm, don't argue on the roadside, and speak to a qualified attorney as soon as possible. And I need to say this clearly. If you are ever asked to sign something you do not understand, do not sign it on the spot. Ask what it is. Ask for a lawyer. This is Immigration Newsroom. If this video helped you, share it with one person. Because immigrants don't lose status only from big crimes. Many people get caught through small mistakes that pile up, or through one traffic stop that exposed an old issue they didn't handle. Subscribe to Immigration Newsroom for weekly updates on immigration rules, enforcement trends, and practical how to protect yourself guidance. General information only, not legal advice. Laws vary by state, and every immigration case is different. If you have tickets, arrests, or any immigration concerns, consult a qualified immigration attorney.